Hello everyone, I'm Michael Dana.
And I'm Kristen Oakes. Thank you for joining us for This Week in Louisiana Agriculture, the only TV show bringing Louisiana farmers and consumers together every week.
Well, right now, grain should be flowing out of Louisiana corn and soybean fields at a breakneck pace as farmers bring in the 2014 crop. But rains, particularly over the last 3 weeks, have slowed or delayed this year's grain harvest in many areas of the state.
According to the National Weather Service, there are parts of Louisiana that received more than 3 times the normal amount of rainfall over the last month and a half. As TWILA's Avery Davidson shows us, the latest rain system dumped nearly 5 inches of rain on soybean fields in just one day, leaving many fields across the state underwater.
The pumps are running again in Monterey.
I'm tired of it, very tired of wet weather.
Landon White and his father Lynn have good reason to be tired of the rain. According to the National Weather Service, their fields have seen nearly 3 times the normal rainfall since July 1st.
And these rains have come not a little at a time, but 2 and 4 inch rains. So it's been huge rains and too much water too quick. And it's just, and then it has nowhere to go.
And if you want to know how much rain fell when the last storms passed through, all you have to do is look at Landon's old trusty rain gauge, nearly 5 inches. And this is where the rain collected, in the soybean field he was hoping to harvest in about a week.
This is the 3rd time I've had to pump water off some zero graded fields that we have.
For harvesting operations, that is a serious headache.
LSU Ag Center climatologist Jay Grimes says in a normal summer, Louisiana sees about 5 cold fronts. He says those fronts bring rain, but they also bring cooler temperatures, which slow evaporation. However, Grimes says in July alone, there were 4 cold fronts.
The soil, we can think of in real simple terms, is a can. Once the can is full, that's it, and the water has no place to go. So when it rains on saturated soils, it either just sits there or has to wait to run off. And with that reduced evaporation, the field standing water just stays that much longer. And in this situation where farmers are trying to get out into the field, every day with standing water is costing them money.
It's going to be a muddy mess. It's all this mud.
Eric Cooper also grows soybeans in Concordia Parish.
It's a milo that's really hurting right now.
He's worried that his soybeans will either begin sprouting or rotting in the field. If that happens now, after he's already fully invested in this crop with time, seed, and fertilizer, well, let's just say he'll be in a financial bind.
It'd be an economic disaster for me. And we've got crop insurance, but it's not enough. So, I mean, we definitely need to get this crop out of the field.
From the planting day to the harvest day, too much rain can be a problem throughout the crop cycle, and the problem basically ends up translating into dollars lost.
Jay Grimes says what farmers across the state need now is drier than normal weather. At least for the next week, he thinks that looks promising. But with so much moisture in the soil, it's going to take a while for everything to dry out. And Mike, Kristen, one of the things you heard Jay mention is about the unusual number of cold fronts we've had so far in the month of July. He would make the argument that there were 4 cold fronts which came through, which kind of goes against what the National Weather Service says with 3. But that sort of lower temperature, higher rainfall, all equals more soil moisture and less that farmers can do when the rain falls.
And we rarely hear the word cold front during a Louisiana summer, and so despite the fact that it is a cold front in the traditional sense, it's really created a lot of problems out there. And you saw it firsthand because you went to Landon White's farm. Those soybeans we saw, that was a mess.
It was a mess. It's heartbreaking to see because you know all the work that goes into it. And I just am praying and hoping that we get some dry weather.
I hope so too. And I have to apologize as well. This week I was supposed to do that story about Flowing Hills Creamery. And well, when you have a weather event like this, sometimes you've got to move on to other stories. And so I promise, Mr. and Mrs. Sally, I will have the story on next week. Don't worry.
We'll catch them next week. Avery Davidson, good story. Thank you.